All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay, with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. 4-day-long Tika Utsav special vaccination drive against coronavirus begins today across the country. India becomes fastest country in the world to administer 10 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine in record 85 days. Centre to send over 1,100 ventilators to Maharashtra in the next few days. Delhi government issues fresh curves to stop spread of coronavirus. Public transport and cinema halls to operate with 50% occupancy. Election Commission bans entry of politicians in violence-hit Kuch Bihar district of West Bengal for 72 hours. 3 terrorists killed in encounter with security forces in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. India finalizes air bubble agreement with Sri Lanka. India beat Olympic champion Argentina in FIH Hockey Pro League match. Indian women wrestlers Anshu Malik and Sonam Malik qualify for this year's Tokyo Olympics. And Delhi Capitals defeat Chennai Super Kings with 7 wickets in IPL cricket. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all the precautions, and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. 4-day-long Tika Utsav, a special vaccination drive against coronavirus, will begin across the country from today. The vaccine festival is commencing today on the birth anniversary of social reformer Jyotiba Phule and will end on the 14th of this month, coinciding with the birth anniversary of the chief architect of the Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Interacting with chief ministers regarding the COVID-19 situation on Thursday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had called for organizing Tika Utsav.
11 अप्रैल ज्योतिबा फुले जी की जन्म जयंती है और 14 अप्रैल बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर जी की जन्म जयंती। क्या हम 11 अप्रैल से 14 अप्रैल पूरे अपने राज्य में टीका उत्सव मना सकते हैं? एक पूरा वातावरण क्रिएट कर सकते हैं टीका उत्सव का। एक विशेष अभियान चलाकर हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा एलिजिबल लोगों को वैक्सीनेट करें, तय करें हम टीका उत्सव में 0 वेस्टेज होगा। वो भी हमारी वैक्सीनेशन कैपेसिटी को बढ़ा देगा। ऑप्टिमम यूटिलाइजेशन ये हम लोग करें और इसके लिए हमें यदि वैक्सीनेशन केंद्रों की संख्या बढ़ानी है तो उसको भी बढ़ाएं। पहले एक बार देखें कि हम 11 से 14 अप्रैल किस प्रकार से चीजों को मोबिलाइज कर सकते हैं।
Our correspondent has filed this report.
The main aim of Tika Utsav is to vaccinate maximum number of eligible people during the period. It also aims to make optimum utilization of vaccination capacity with 0 wastage. During the interaction with chief ministers, the Prime Minister had called upon the youth of the country to help those above 45 years around them to get vaccinated. In the fight against COVID-19, along with vaccination, government is giving emphasis on test, track, treat, COVID-appropriate behavior and COVID management. For Tika Utsav, different states have prepared plans to involve public representatives, hold camps and double the daily average of inoculations. For vaccination, people can book advance appointment through CoWIN portal. On-site registration is also available at the vaccination center. India is witnessing rapid rise in COVID-19 cases. In a new daily high, over 1,45,000 COVID-19 cases were detected yesterday and 794 deaths were reported. Anupam Mish, AR News, Delhi.
India has scaled another peak in its effort to contain the COVID-19 virus with the administration of more than 10 crore doses of vaccines to its citizens. The Health Ministry said India is the fastest country in the world to achieve the 10 crore vaccination mark in just 85 days. The countrywide vaccination drive was rolled out on 16th of January this year. The United States has administered over 92 million doses in 85 days and China over 61 million doses in the same period. The ministry said more than 29,65,000 vaccine doses were given till 8 p.m. yesterday. The ministry said the achievement is also a testimony of the whole of society approach where individuals ignored rumors and propaganda of vested interest, shunned the vaccine hesitancy and strengthened the hand of the administration in curbing COVID-19.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has assured Maharashtra government that the centre will send over 1,100 ventilators to the state in the next few days. Mr. Javadekar attended a review meeting over the COVID situation with Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar in Pune yesterday. Officials from the central government team, which are in Pune to review the situation, also attended the meeting along with officials in the district administration. Speaking to media after the meeting, Mr. Javadekar said the major concern in Pune was about ventilators. In the next 3 to 4 days, about 1,121 ventilators will arrive in Maharashtra from the centre, of which 700 will come from Gujarat and 421 from Andhra Pradesh. He also assured funding from the centre for recruitment of health staff under the National Health Mission. Mr. Javadekar said central government is going to provide funds from National Health Mission to recruit the manpower required for tracing, testing and treatment of COVID patients in Maharashtra. The Union Minister said the centre will also help by providing oxygen supply from industries and places where oxygen is manufactured. Mr. Javadekar said Maharashtra has received 1.10 crore doses of vaccine. There are only 3 states in the country that have received more than 1 crore doses. They are Maharashtra, Rajasthan and Gujarat.
In Uttar Pradesh, all preparations have been made for the Tika Utsav across the state. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, while reviewing COVID-19 situation in Gorakhpur yesterday, instructed officials to make all arrangements for a special vaccination drive. He also announced night curfew in Gorakhpur district. Night curfew is already in force in many districts of the state. More from a Lucknow correspondent.
Governor Anandiben Patel has appealed people to come forward extensively for inoculation. She has asked political leaders, religious leaders, social workers and others to motivate people for immunization and not to go with rumors. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath had appealed people to participate in COVID-19 special Tika Utsav in a big way. He said that maximum number of people in the targeted age group should be vaccinated. Wastage of vaccine should be stopped at any cost. He said to ensure availability of sanitizer, infrared thermometers, pulse oximeters in all government offices, private offices and industrial institutions by setting up a COVID help desk. Chief Minister has instructed to impose night curfew in the districts where more than 500 active cases of corona are found. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also ordered a slew of measures to contain the coronavirus infection in the state capital Lucknow. Not more than 5 people will be allowed at one time to enter any religious place in Lucknow. The Chief Minister directed officials to make arrangement of 2,000 beds for COVID patients within 1 week. 300-bed Balrampur Hospital has been converted into a dedicated COVID facility immediately.
In Bihar, 4 lakh people will be vaccinated each day during the Tika Utsav. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has exhorted people to come forward for vaccination to contain the corona pandemic. Over 2,52,000 people took vaccine during the past 24 hours in the state. More than 46,83,143 people have so far been vaccinated in the state. Bihar government has demanded 30 lakh doses from the centre. Union Minister of Health for Health and Family Welfare, Ashwini Kumar Chaubey, called for upgradation of RT-PCR machines in the state as per the guidelines of Indian Council of Medical Research. Meanwhile, a record 3,469 fresh cases of COVID-19 were reported during the last 24 hours. The Delhi government has banned all gatherings except for marriages and funerals till the 30th of April due to the rise in COVID-19 cases. All social, political, sports, entertainment, academic, cultural, religious, festival-related and other gatherings and congregations have been banned in the city. As per order issued by Delhi Disaster Management Authority (DDMA), up to 20 persons are allowed in funeral and last rites-related gatherings. Marriage-related gatherings are allowed up to 50 persons. The order said that the restaurants and bars are allowed up to 50% of the seating capacity. The order said Delhi Metro, DTC and intrastate movement of buses will be permitted to run at not more than 50% of the capacity. The cinemas, theatres, multiplexes will be permitted to open with up to 50% of seating capacity. In addition, swimming pools in the national capital will remain closed except for training of sportspersons participating in national global events. The authorities also added that colleges, coaching institutions will remain closed in Delhi in view of the rising cases. Students of class 9 to 12 may be called to school only for academic guidance and support for midterm exams, pre-board exams, and annual exams or board exams with the consent of parents. According to the order, it will be mandatory for people travelling by air from Maharashtra to Delhi to carry a negative RT-PCR test done 72 hours prior to arrival. Madhya Pradesh government has adopted stricter measures after around 5,000 new corona cases were reported in a single day yesterday. State has reported 4,986 new cases of coronavirus in the past 24 hours, taking its tally of active cases to 32,707. A maximum of 912 people have been infected in Indore, while 736 in Bhopal, 369 in Jabalpur and 323 new infections have been reported in Gwalior. We have more from our Bhopal correspondent.
The MP government has extended lockdown period in 12 cities of the state including Indore, Jabalpur and Ujjain. The decision was taken in a meeting of the Crisis Management Group of Districts with the Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Additional Chief Secretary Home Dr. Rajesh Rajora informed that for the prevention of the corona pandemic, there will be a lockdown in Indore, Rau, Mau, Shajapur, Ujjain, Badwani, Rajgarh and Vidisha districts till morning of April 19. The lockdown has also been imposed in the Balaghat, Narsingpur and Sivni district along with the Jabalpur city from night of the April 12 to till April 22 morning. Meanwhile, holy bath held on Somvati Amavasya at all the ghats of the river Narmada have been banned. A control room has also been set up to review oxygen supply in the state. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Complete lockdown has been imposed in 3 more districts of Chhattisgarh in view of the surge in COVID-19 cases. With this, total of 11 districts will be under lockdown. The commencement and concluding period of the lockdown differs in these districts. More from a Raipur correspondent.
In Chhattisgarh, orders have been issued to impose complete lockdown in Dhamtari, Raigad and Korba districts also. Earlier, the orders for imposing lockdown have already been issued in 8 districts of the state, including Raipur. With migrant laborers returning from states like Maharashtra and Odisha following the second wave of COVID infection, Chhattisgarh government has directed collectors to start quarantine centers in the villages again. People coming from other states will have to stay in the quarantine center for 7 days. The help of local groups will be taken to establish the quarantine centers. This time, dry ration will be made available to the people at these centers. In case of any problem, they will be given cooked food. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
Well-known actor Sachin Khedekar has appealed to people to take the vaccine jabs. He said people should participate in the vaccination drive enthusiastically. He said that by taking the vaccine shots, people can save themselves, their family and people of the country. He said those eligible should take the vaccine immediately.
हम सब जानते हैं कि कोरोना का फैलाव बहुत बढ़ चुका है और इसे रोकने के लिए हम मास्क लगाना, हाथ साफ करते रहना और एक दूसरे से सुरक्षित दूरी बनाए रखने की त्रिसूत्री का पालन कर रहे हैं। पर साथ ही में हमारे देश में कोरोना से बचाव के लिए टीकाकरण अभियान भी चल रहा है। हमें सरकार के इस अभियान में शामिल होना है। जो भी लोग टीका लेने के लिए पात्र हैं, उन्हें गुजारिश है कि आप अपने नजदीकी टीकाकरण केंद्र जाकर कोरोना से बचाव के लिए टीका जरूर लें। ये सुरक्षित है और इससे हम खुद को, हमारे परिवार को और हमारे देश की जनता को कोरोना से सुरक्षित कर सकते हैं।
Talking to AIR, Dr. Neeraj Nishchal of AIIMS, New Delhi, has appealed to all those eligible for COVID vaccine to come forward and get the jab on priority basis.
जैसे जैसे केसेस बढ़ रहे हैं, अब लोगों को समझने की जरूरत है कि वैक्सीन आपकी जान बचा सकता है। आप इस बीमारी से डरिए, वैक्सीन से नहीं। वैक्सीन सेफ और काफी इफेक्टिव है। वैक्सीन का जो प्राइमरी काम है, अगर बाई चांस आपको वैक्सीन लेने के बाद इन्फेक्शन हो भी गया, तो किसी भी सीवियर बीमारी में कन्वर्ट होने से आपकी जो बीमारी है इतने डेवलप ना हो कि आपको वेंटिलेटर पे जाने की जरूरत पड़े, इन सब चीजों से बचाने में आपकी मदद करता है। इसलिए हम सभी से यही रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि जो अभी के ड्राइव के लिए एलिजिबल है वैक्सीनेशन के लिए, वो आगे आए और बेहिचक होकर आप वैक्सीन लगवाएं। इससे न सिर्फ आप अपने आप को सुरक्षित करेंगे, बल्कि आप अगल बगल में जो भी आपके घर में, आपके समाज में आसपास आपके लोग हैं, उन सभी को आप सुरक्षित कर सकते हैं।
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. 4-day-long Tika Utsav special vaccination drive against coronavirus begins today across the country. India becomes the fastest country in the world to administer 10 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine in record 85 days. Centre to send over 1,100 ventilators to Maharashtra in the next few days. Delhi government issues fresh curbs to stop spread of coronavirus. Public transport and cinema halls to operate with 50% occupancy. Election Commission bans entry of politicians in violence-hit Cooch Behar district of West Bengal for 72 hours. 3 terrorists killed in encounter with security forces in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. India finalizes air bubble agreement with Sri Lanka. India beat Olympic champion Argentina in FIH Hockey Pro League match. Indian women wrestlers Anshu Malik and Sonam Malik qualify for this year's Tokyo Olympics. And Delhi Capitals defeat Chennai Super Kings by 7 wickets in IPL cricket. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back. You are listening to the morning news. The Election Commission has barred the entry of politicians in Cooch Behar district of West Bengal for the next 72 hours to maintain the law and order situation. The Commission has also extended the silence period from 48 hours to 72 hours for the 5th phase of assembly polls in the state to be held on the 17th of this month after violence in Cooch Behar district. No campaigning will be permitted during 72 hours before the close of the polling in order to ensure the conduct of free, fair and peaceful elections. West Bengal Chief Secretary and Director General of Police, District Magistrate and Superintendent of Police of Cooch Behar have been tasked for taking all necessary steps. The poll body said that recourse to open fire by CISF personnel became absolutely necessary at a polling booth in Sitalkuchi constituency of Cooch Behar district during the 4th phase of assembly elections in the state yesterday to save lives of voters lined up there, other polling personnel and their own lives as mob had attempted snatching the weapons. The Commission said it has received a report from Special Observers Ajay Nayak and Vivek Dubey in this regard. 3 terrorists have been killed in an encounter with security forces in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. While 1 terrorist was killed yesterday evening, 2 were neutralized this morning at Hadipora village. Talking to AIR News, Jammu and Kashmir's Director General of Police DGP Dilbag Singh said that all the 3 slain terrorists were from Al-Badr outfit.
2 operations were initiated at 2 different locations last evening. One was at Bijbehara, Anantnag, and another one at Hatipura, Shopian. One of the 2 operations, after the resumption of firing again in the morning, have concluded at Shopian, in which all the 3 terrorists have been eliminated. Operation at Bijbehara is still on. The one which is concluded, all the 3 terrorists belong to Al-Badr.
The Ministry of Civil Aviation has finalized an air bubble agreement with Sri Lanka. In a tweet, the ministry said all eligible passengers will be able to travel between the 2 countries in the near future. Sri Lanka has become the 6th country in the SAARC region to enter such agreement with India. With this, India now has such pacts with 28 countries, including Afghanistan, Bahrain, Canada, France, Germany, Iraq, Japan, the Maldives, Nigeria, Qatar, UAE, UK and the US. Scheduled international flights have been suspended in India since March 23, 2020 due to the coronavirus pandemic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes to Mahatma Jyotiba Phule on the occasion of his birth anniversary today, referring to Mahatma Phule as a great philanthropist, thinker, philosopher and writer. Mr. Modi said he remained committed to the cause of educating and empowering women throughout his life. The Prime Minister said that Mahatma Phule's dedication and commitment towards social reform will continue to inspire generations to come. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar paid tribute to the great thinker, philanthropist and author Jyotirao Govindarav Phule on his birth anniversary today. Mr. Javadekar said that Mahatma Phule, who is credited with opening of the first school for women in the country, also made a remarkable contribution in ending caste-based divisions and discrimination in the Indian society.
World Parkinson's Day has been observed today. The day is observed every year on the 11th of April to create awareness about the disease among general public. The disease can cause slowness of the movements, stiffness and shakiness of the body. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Rajinder Dhamija, Head of Neurology Department at Lady Hardinge Medical College, said there are more than 1 crore people living with the disease in the world today and there are a number of drugs available to treat this condition. He said balanced diet and exercise can also help in preventing the disease.
Parkinson's disease is a disorder of brain in which there is a deficiency of dopamine which can cause shakiness of the body, slowness in walking and stiffness. Today we have number of drugs to treat this condition, and in case you have anyone with these symptoms in your family, in your society or at your workplace, please ask him to consult a movement disorder neurologist so that he can be treated. Balanced diet and exercise can also help in preventing Parkinson's disease.
Regulators in China has imposed $2.75 billion fine over the world's biggest online retailer Alibaba. The regulator said the internet giant abused its dominant market position for several years by stopping some sellers using other platforms. The fine amounts to 4% of Alibaba's revenue in 2019. In a statement, the company said it accepted the ruling and would ensure its compliance. Jack Ma is well known in China as one of the country's most successful entrepreneurs.
In hockey, India beat reigning Olympic champions Argentina 3-2 in the FIH Pro League match at Buenos Aires. In a thrilling, action-packed contest, Harmanpreet gave India a 1-0 lead with a superbly executed penalty corner early in the second quarter before a quick-fire double from Martin Ferrero put Argentina into a 2-1 lead at half-time. However, India's Harmanpreet Singh's dramatic equalizer ensured the game finished with the scores locked at 2-2 when just 6 seconds of the match was remaining. In penalty shootout with brilliant goalkeeping from PR Srijesh, India sealed 3-2 win over Argentina. The result sees India move ahead of Argentina to 5th position in the FIH Pro League standings with 12 points from 7 matches. Argentina stands 6th with 11 points from 11 games. The two teams will face each other again tomorrow. And now, news from the world of sports.
In women wrestling, Indian Anshu Malik and Sonam Malik have secured the Tokyo Olympics berths in the 57 kg and 62 kg categories despite settling for silver medals on the second day of the Asian Wrestling Olympic qualifiers in Almaty. The 19-year-old Haryana girl Anshu went down fighting 4-7 to Mongolia's Khongorzol Balsai Kaha, while 18-year-old Sonam earlier made a remarkable comeback from 0-6 down to beat home favourite Ayaulem Kasimova of Kazakhstan 9-6 to secure third Olympic wrestling quota for India. Her qualification has thus shut doors on Rio Games medalist Sakshi Malik. Vinesh Fogart has already made cut for Tokyo in the 53 kg category. Union Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju inaugurated the Khelo India Centre of Excellence in Rowing in Srinagar yesterday. The training centre, situated in Dal Lake, comes under the Jammu and Kashmir Sports Council, was upgraded with modern facilities and equipment, including 16 new boats. 4 coxless 4 boats, 2 have been purchased for the centre that has 50 regular athletes under the scheme. In tennis, 3 members of the Indian women's team along with their coach Vishal Uppal arrived in the Latvian capital of Riga yesterday to play in the Billie Jean King BJK Cup on April 16 and 17. This is the first time in history that the women's team has made it to the World Group Playoffs. While Rutuja Bhosle, Zeel Desai and Karman Kaur Thandi took the flight from Delhi, India's tennis ace Sania Mirza and Ankita Raina will join them directly from Dubai, where they have been training for the past week. In IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals beat Chennai Super Kings by 7 wickets in a thrilling T20 match at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai last night. Chasing victory target of 189, Delhi Capitals overhauled the target by losing 3 wickets with 8 balls to spare. Shikhar Dhawan smashed brilliant 85 while Prithvi Shaw scored 72 for Delhi Capitals. Earlier, put into bat, Chennai Super Kings scored 188 for 7 in stipulated 20 overs. Suresh Raina scored 54 for Chennai while Chris Wokes and Avesh Khan picked up 2 wickets each for Delhi. Shikhar Dhawan was adjudged player of the match. Today, Sunrisers Hyderabad will take on Kolkata Knight Riders at M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai. Sports Desk, AIR News.
A case has been registered by GRP Mumbai CSMT under relevant sections of IPC for investigation over the edited video which was showing a heavy crowd at CSMT station in Mumbai on April 7, 2021. The video clip has gone viral on social media in the evening of April 7th, wherein crowd of people were seen at CSMT station and people were misled by it. After the request of the senior officials of the RPF CSMT, the case was registered by the CSMT GRP. Meanwhile, GRP has also appealed to the people not to fall prey to the rumors about the Shramik special trains. The railways made it clear that neither the Shramik special train been run nor it is planned in the near future. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for the day. In national capital Delhi, with clear sky, the maximum temperature is expected to be 38 degrees Celsius, while it recorded a minimum of 17 degrees. Mumbai will have partly cloudy skies, expected to see a maximum temperature of around 33 degrees. It registered a minimum of 24 degrees. Chennai is also expected to have partly cloudy sky with the temperature moving from a minimum of 26 to a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with the possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The city is expected to have a maximum temperature of around 35 degrees. It witnessed a minimum of 27 degrees. Srinagar will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will rise from a minimum of 9 to a maximum of 18 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 9 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees. Sky will be partly cloudy. Leh is expected to have partly cloudy sky with maximum temperature of around 9 degrees. The minimum temperature was minus 4 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature rising from a minimum of 7 to a maximum of 22 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The maximum temperature will be around 30 degrees Celsius. The minimum was 11 degrees Celsius. Dehradun, with mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening, will see a maximum temperature of 35 degrees Celsius. It recorded a minimum of 15 degrees. Chandigarh, the temperature is expected to have partly cloudy sky with minimum of 15 to a maximum of nearly 37 degrees Celsius. Hyderabad is expected to have rain or thunder showers towards evening or night. Ahmedabad, with sunny sky, will have a maximum temperature of around 41 degrees. The minimum was 22 degrees. Patna, with clear sky, will have temperature rising up to 39 degrees Celsius from the minimum of 21 degrees Celsius. And Guwahati may have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will move from 20 to 31 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. India crossing a milestone of administering 10 crore doses of vaccines is one of the stories that dominates headlines this morning. Vaccinations crossed 10 crore doses despite the recent dip, says the Hindu. Delhi bans political sports gatherings, informs the Asian Age. The pioneer quoting the Election Commission right, stick to COVID behavior or face campaign ban. 5 killed in voting day violence in West Bengal, reports the Hindustan Times. Mamta Modi spa over Bengal violence, notes the Statesman. In a related story, the Tribune informs, additional forces rush to Bengal. The Economic Times report that the U.S. National Intelligence Council has warned that India and China may slip into a conflict that neither government intends. India-China agreed to avoid new incidents, informs the Statesman. Setback for BJP in Tripura, Tribal Council election, reports the Times of India. And finally, basic savings account can now be opened in post office. Well, the Hindu Business Line reports that the account maintenance fee halved to 50 rupees for post office savings account.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. 4-day-long Tika Utsav special vaccination drive against coronavirus begins today across the country. India becomes fastest country in the world to administer 10 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine in record 85 days. Centre to send over 1,100 ventilators to Maharashtra in the next few days. Delhi government issues fresh curbs to stop spread of coronavirus. Public transport and cinema halls to operate with 50% occupancy. Election Commission bans entry of politicians in violence-hit Kuch Bihar district of West Bengal for 72 hours. 3 terrorists killed in encounter with security forces in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. India finalizes air bubble agreement with Sri Lanka. India beat Olympic champion Argentina in FIH Hockey Pro League match. Indian women wrestlers Anshu Malik and Sonam Malik qualify for this year's Tokyo Olympics. And Delhi Capitals defeat Chennai Super Kings by 7 wickets in IPL cricket. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.